I'm coming to you today in a pretty vulnerable state. But they say that vulnerability is key to the power. And so I'm going there. And, it's not easy. It's not easy to make yourself vulnerable and to share in this space because you're not in your highest potential self. You're seeing the contrast. But it's key to your power because it shows where the shadow is of your power. So you can work through it, so you can fully anchor into the light and into this power. So right now I'm going through a financial contraction. And I haven't seen this level of contraction since I've been in the van. I lived in the van for 3 years. And so a trauma response comes up whenever I see like a certain amount of money, just like a lack of basically income. And so it's a poverty mentality. It's a lack of mentality. It has a lot to do with the way I was brought up, with the way that I was raised. And then also life has shown me that when I have this contraction, then my home's going to be taken away from me. Everything's going to be ripped from me. So this is not the case, but this is my body. This is my body's response. And so I've been throwing fits all morning, just observing myself still in this lower vibrational state that is a part of the child within that was not cared for, that was not nourished. And that I was just not met in certain ways, as we all were to some degree. So I'm coming on to share some of the tools that I've been using. And in my state of I'm not very clear right now. I'm not very I'm not super duper aligned with what's really going on a higher level. And so I'm just embracing what I can see right now. And what I can see is that my guides are pointing me to this poverty aspect of my being that wants to be seen again and really wants to be acknowledged. And this morning I was going through various limiting beliefs that could possibly be a part of this. And one, I found that I asked my pendulum, these things are your body, you can muscle test. But I found that there was a belief that that I am a victim of my heart, basically. Like I'm a victim of um, the giver within. And so I worked on this belief by looking at different timelines and whatnot, different aspects that were coming up. And I removed the belief, and then I sensed that I had to do with my mother. And so I sent back soul fragments to her. And then I asked for mine to be returned back to me. And so this can be done. We just have to enter a state of surrender in order to really tap into the higher self and the guidance of the higher self in this. And this means observing the lower self, observing the anger, observing the resistance, and sitting with that. And then coming to your heart, because this is where you can always find a constant, your constant anchor, your constant ground. And so when I come here, I just want to hike, and you can intentionally push the energy down, down, down into the earth. This really does help. And then when I am asking now for what I need for my life to be sustained in my high five list, I do this every day. I have for the last week at least. I make a list of 5 different manifests that I want to see happen in my life. And so when I do these, I go into a place of heart and of this high vibrational connected place. And even though my body maybe feels like shit, my cognitive mind feels like shit, I can be watching all of this, but I don't want to manifest from this place. I want to watch this and then anchor into the light, anchor into the heart, and then write. So that's why I think that's part of the reason why writing is so good, is because we can come to a more neutral place with writing. And we can come from a more okay, decision. So this is my heart. My heart's gonna rule. My heart's gonna speak right now, and my heart wants to see the money in my lap for rent, because I want to feel supported in this work. I want my highest and the healer aspect of my being to feel supported so that she can do this work, because I know the world needs it. So coming from a place of deep resonance and of deep understanding that this is the trajectory that I've already set. This is the manifest that has been working in my life for my entire life, if not for eons. And I know that I'm at a point right now of transition, and I know that I'm stepping into my highest more and more and more. And then coming from that place of solid intention and trajectory, and even though I'm not feeling it right now, it will follow. So anyway, I say this with just a heart of care, a heart of surrender, and a heart of deep, deep, deep trust. Deep trust. I'm really trusting here and surrendering to this trust and to this deep faith that is innately coursing through my veins. So I encourage you to do the same. Surrender to your highest. Surrender to the knowing, the deep knowing. And then allow the mind that's going in and doubting all these things, being like, I don't know if that's going to work, blah, 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 blah. The mind is always there, but do not let the mind negate your intention. Your intention is set. My intention is set. I will see $1,800 in my lap by Monday. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And I'll find another way to trust. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So now I'm in faith and I'm in trust that I am cared for. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being a part of this. And I hope a part of this serves you, because I'm here to empower, and I'm here to lift up, and first and foremost myself, so that I can be there for another. So yeah, I feel like this is so important to come to a place of vulnerability and to really just be able to share from this place, because I know that you all know this to some degree. So bless it. Ask and you shall receive. This is part 2 of this video, and this is after a few hours. And I had money come in, most of rent come in last minute, after a whole morning of just surrendering over and over and over again, to know, holding that anchor in the light that I had created through my original manifest. When I moved into this home, I didn't really align with the amount of rent that was being asked to pay here, and I was fearful that I wouldn't be able to make it. And my guidance system asked me to step into a space of trust, of deep, deep, deep trust. And they were like, no, you're just going to make more money. It's okay. You're just going to make the money that you need to make to be here, because this place is exactly what I need. I do a lot of work here. I do all my work from home, and I need a place of solitude and quiet and just all mind, just to be in my energy, because I'm a real sensitive. And so I every month, I just see it come in. I just see the abundance just flow in and take care of me. And yet this month was really hard, because my rent's due in like 3 days and I wasn't seeing it yet. And then last minute, people just paid up. And so I've been in a state of, like, over the last 6 months especially, of really just calling on the support, calling on my guides and angels and ascended masters and ancestors, and just really asking them to support my body, to support my life in this work, in this passion that I so hold, that is surrounding the healer within me, that I know the world needs this channel. I know it does, but I need support. I need the ground to hear me. And so just yesterday, I wrote in my journal again, and I was like, I write a list every day. I call it the high 5. And so this is the list of all of the manifests that I want to see in my life. And so a part of my list yesterday was asking for the Christ grid, for the crystalline grid of the planet to come up and to bless me and to envelop me in this light, and that all of this pain body that I was experiencing of doubt and hesitation and fear and trauma response and everything from, like, being in that impoverished mentality and being stuck there for so long, I just asked for this just to take over, and for my highest to please just reign. And so she did. It wasn't easy though. So I'm just here to encourage you to please stick in there prayer does move mountains. It does. And I command it. Command your reality. I command it for this earth to support me. And your body needs help. Your body needs support. It's not easy being here in this 3D dense reality and then trying to do even healing work in the 5D and having to combat this crazy resistant, like, just matrix that we're in, So trust that your intentions are heard and that your manifest will be seen. It's the law of nature. It's expansion, contraction. And so we're here to just witness. And so in the witness, I stayed with my breath. I focused more on my breath. And I went for a hike, like you saw before. And I anchored down into the grid and just allowed these fears and everything just for Gaia to take it, to recycle it. And it was hard. But I knew that I had to feel it. I knew I had to go there. And so through doing also some like belief work, some limiting belief work, and through realizing that I was still holding limiting cords of my mother and father and the poverty mentality and like of the victim mentality and whatnot, this was an opportunity for me to step into a higher way of being and to rise in my frequency and to see these limiting beliefs and to ask Creator to go in to restore this and to neutralize these shadows. And they have. It's just this work. It works. It really works. And I'm sitting here in a place of even deeper vulnerability than I feel like I was before, because I'm just in a place of awe and wonder and softness of heart, and I feel more empowered than I have in a long time in this place. So yeah, keep that trust and just keep that faith. I promise you, this too shall pass, and just trust. It's so fun and it's so rewarding just to trust and stay curious and play with the energies. Bless your process and bless your life, from my heart to yours.